Hello class and welcome back to my channel at nandito na naman tayo para sa isa na naman video tutorial sa mga lessons ng mathematics. So ngayong video na to ang pag-usapan natin is the lessons or the competencies na under ng second quarter week 1 for mathematics 7. So ano nga ba yung mga competencies ng ating week 1 for mathematics 7 sa second quarter? So these are the competencies. Number 1 is to approximate the measures of quantities, particularly length, weight, and mass, volume, time, angle, and temperature, and also the rate. And the next competency is to convert measurement from one unit to another in both metric and English system. And the last one is to solve problems involving conversion of units of measurement. So in this video, i-discuss natin lahat ng competencies na to, and these competencies are under the first week of the second quarter. So let us proceed with discussing the competencies. Now, measuring quantities, we have measurement is a number that characterizes an objects or events which can be compared with other objects or events. We use basic unit of measure for length, time, weight, or mass, electric current, volume, angles, temperature, and rate. So, ito yung mga kadalasang sinusukat natin in our daily life. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng system kung saan ginagamit natin yung measurement. The first one is the metric system or the international system of units and the English system. But in our country, we use the metric system or the international system of units. So, ito yung mga kadalasan natin ginagamit. Bibihira tayong gumamit ng mga English system, but gumagamit pa rin tayo. Pero, mas madalas na gamitin is yung metric system. So, ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba ng metric system at ng English system with regards to the different quantities? So, this table shows the different metric and English system for each quantity. For length, the basic unit is meter. So, ayan po yung nakalagay. Ang mga kadalasang ginagamit natin sa length ay millimeter, centimeter, meter, and kilometer. This is for metric. While in the English system naman, for length is the inch, foot, yard, and mile. So, yun yung mga ginagamit natin. So, volume naman, we have the cubic centimeter and the cubic meter. Sa English, cubic inch, cubic foot, and cubic yard. Sa mass, we have the gram and also kilogram. Sa English naman is ounce, pound, and ton. And sa temperature, we have the Kelvin and the degree Celsius. Sa English naman is the degree Fahrenheit. Sa time naman, parehas lang yung metric and English, which is second, minute, and hour. Sa capacity, we have milliliter and liter for metric, and fluid ounce, pint, gallon for English. And sa angle, parehas lang po yung metric and English, which is the degree and radian. So these are the different unit of measurement for each quantity with regards to metric and English system. So let's start with the first quantity, which is the length. So length describes how long a physical quantity is. It includes distance, height, depth, and the like. The smallest unit of measure for length is millimeter, and the biggest unit of measure is kilometer. And additional, the basic unit of length for length is meter. In English, in metric system, the basic unit is meter. And the basic instrument used in measuring length is a ruler. So ito yung, pag sinabi nating length, ito yung haba, taas, at lalim ng isang bagay. So yun yung sinusukat natin sa length. And we use this different unit of measurement. So the next part is how to convert this measurement. So magko-convert na tayo ng ating measure using different approach or different method. Pero yung ituturo ko dito is the simplest way of converting unit of measurement. So the first one is to convert metric to metric unit of measurement. So in this case, metric to metric, ito yung gagamitin natin na mas madali naman tong tandaan na kung paano mag-convert ng metric to metric. So tandaan po natin, gagamitin lang natin tong process na to if we are converting metric to metric unit of measurement. Otherwise, meron tayong ibang process kung paano tayo mag-convert. So let us focus first in this example. So let us say we have to convert 708 millimeter into meters. So paano natin siya i-convert? So using this illustration, ito yung magpapadali ng ating pagko-convert. So converting 708 meter, palitan natin ang kulay. converting 708 millimeter into meter, ang gagawin natin is titingin tayo dito sa illustration. So kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayo ditong mga unit of measurement na nakalagay. So naka-arrange siya, hindi pwedeng mabago yung arrangement niya. So from the center, which is the meter, kasi nga siya yung basic unit for length ng metric system, mag-start tayo sa meter, then papunta sa kaliwa or papunta sa kanan is papaliit, which is decimeter, centimeter, and millimeter. Yung papunta naman sa kaliwa is papalaki, decameter, hectometer, and kilometer. So ito yung gagamitin natin para makapag-convert tayo ng metric to metric. And how are we going to use this illustration? So ganito lang po yan. So let us try to convert 708 millimeter. So what are we going to do is we're going to look for the unit of measurement. Since we're going to convert millimeter to meter, titignan natin dito sa illustration yung movement ng millimeter or ng meter to millimeter. So in this case, dito tayo mag-start sa millimeter at kailangan nating mapunta sa meter. So counting the number of units from millimeter to meter, we have 1, 2, 3. So from millimeter to meter, meron tayong tatlong movement. Now, what will happen? Anong gagawin natin since nakuha na natin yung movement? So yung movement na yun din ang gagawin natin dito sa ating given. So we're going to look for the decimal in this, or the decimal point in this given. So in this case, wala siyang decimal, ibig sabihin nasa dulo yung decimal point. Then yung movement natin dito sa illustration, ganun din ang gagawin natin dun sa decimal. Since nag-move yung ating given from millimeter to meter papunta sa left, ganun din yung ating decimal. And we're going to move this decimal according to the number of movement to the illustration. So naka-move tayo ng tatlo, yung decimal, igagalaw din natin ng tatlo pakaliwa. So that is 1, 2, 3. And then mapupunta na dito yung decimal, and that is our answer. So that will be 0.708. Then that is our final answer. Once na napunta sa pinakang unahan yung decimal, lagyan nyo na lang ng 0 sa unahan para maging 0.708 meter. And that is the equivalent of 708 millimeter. Next is 15.6 kilometer into decameter. So same procedure, bilangin lang natin kung ilang movement from kilometer to decameter. So using the illustration starting from kilometer, we have 1 and 2. So, meron tayong dalawang movement. So, what will happen is that yung decimal, i-move natin siya ng 2 pakanan. Kasi pakanan yung galaw from kilometer to decameter. So, that will be 1 and 2. And then, what will happen is, yung space dito, lalagyan natin ng 0. So, kaya ko siya ginagawang curve para makita natin yung mga spaces na mangyayari. And kapag nagkaroon ng space, lalagyan natin ng 0. And our final answer would be 1,560 decameter. That is the equivalent of 15.6 kilometer in decameter. So, ganun lang mag-convert ng metric to metric. So, another example. So, we have these problems. The first is an athlete ran a distance of 7.5 kilometer. The question is, how many meters did he run? So, what is asked in the problem is we need to convert kilometer into meters. So, ganun ulit yung gagawin natin. Titingnan lang natin, bibilangin lang natin kung ilan yung movement from kilometer to meters using our illustration. So, napaka-importante nitong illustration if you're going to convert metric to metric. So, from kilometer to meter, there will be 1, 2, 3. So, there will be 3 movements. So, what will happen is that yung decimal natin, i-move din natin siya ng 3 beses pa kanan kasi papunta sa kanan yung movement. So, that will be 1, 2, 3. And then, yung mga spaces, lalagyan natin ng 0. So, therefore, 7.5 kilometer is equivalent or is equal to 7,500 meters. That is our answer. And then, the next one is the area of a rectangular garden lot is 124 meters squared. How many square decimeter of grass are needed to fill it? So, in this case, medyo naiba yung problem natin kasi nagkaroon ng square. So, naging meter square. Pero, yung process natin is the same. Magkakaroon lang tayo ng additional na gagawin para ma-convert natin siya. So, ganun pa rin po, i-convert natin siya, bilangin lang natin kung ilan yung movement from meter to decimeter. So, in that case, magkakaroon tayo ng meter to decimeter is 1 movement. So, magiging 124, ang decimal niya is nasa dulo. Since meter squared or naka-square yung ating given, yung movement natin is madadoble. Kung 1 movement lang siya, magiging 2 kasi naka-square. So that is what are you going to do if mayroong mga square yung ating given. So since 1 movement lang siya from meter to decimeter and naka-square siya, magiging 2. So that will be 1, 2. Madadagdagan ng 2 0. So that means 124 meters squared is equivalent to 12,400 square decimeter. And that is our answer. That is the process on how you can convert metric to metric unit of measurement. Now, paano naman if you're going to convert metric to English or English to metric, yung magkaiba na sila. So, in that case, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin itong illustration na to dahil magkaiba na sila ng unit of measurement. So, what are we going to do? In order for us to convert English to metric or vice versa, we're going to use this table. No? So, tandaan natin itong table na to. Ito yung gagamitin natin in order for us to convert English to metric and metric to English as well. So, let us try to answer this one. Convert 4 feet to centimeter. Now, what are we going to do is, in the problem, we are going to convert feet to centimeter or foot to centimeter. So, hahanapin natin dito sa table kung nasaan yung conversion period or conversion ng feet to centimeter. So, in that case, ito po iyon. So, from foot to centimeter, what will happen is i-multiply natin siya by 30.5. Kasi yun yung nakalagay dito. If you're going to convert foot to centimeter, multiply by 30.5. So, what will happen is that magiging 4 times 30.5. And for our final answer, that would be 122 centimeter. So, ibig sabihin, ang 4 feet ay equivalent sa 122 centimeter. Next is, how many kilometers are there in 81 miles? So, what are we going to do is we're going to convert 81 miles into kilometers. So, that will be miles to kilometer. So, hanapin natin sa table kung nasaan yung miles to kilometer, and in this case, nandito po siya. Miles to kilometer. So, paano natin siya i-convert? You're going to multiply the given by 1.61. So, that will be 81 times 1.61. So, 81 times 1.61 is equal to 130.41 kilometers. So, 81 miles is equivalent to 130.41 kilometers. So, ganun lang mag-convert ng English to metric. Tignan nyo lang yung table and then hanapin nyo kung ano yung magiging conversion. So, titignan nyo lang dyan, nakalagay naman dyan kung saan nyo siya i-multiply. And, madali nyo na siyang makukuha kasi pwede naman kayong gumamit ng calculator pag multiply. So, in many cases, meron tayong application sa Google na kung saan pwede tayong mag-convert automatically ng unit of measurement. Kaya lang kasi sa Google kasi medyo iba yung lumalabas kasi this is the estimate value. So kapag gumamit kayo sa Google, may iba yung sagot. So I am used to this given kasi nakikita ko kung ano yung i-convert natin. So kaya mas maganda na ito yung gamitin natin lalo na kung sa inyong activity is hindi niyo makuha yung sagot using Google. So, try nyo gamitin ito. Kasi minsan, iba yung sagot sa Google at saka dito sa manual. Okay, so that is how you convert English to metric. Next. So, the next quantity is the volume and the capacity. So, when we say volume, it is the measure of how much amount of space is occupied by a three-dimensional figure, while the capacity is the amount contained in a three-dimensional figure. So, the only difference in volume and capacity, ang volume, ito yung space, ang capacity, ito yung mailalagay natin doon sa space. No? So, halimbawa dyan is yung, let's say, for example, a box. So, yung box natin, yung kanyang sukat, that is the volume. And yung mga mailalagay natin sa box, that is the capacity. No? That is the difference between volume and capacity. Now, volume can be measured using the system of international units or the metric system like cubic meter. So for solid, yun yung ginagamit natin, cubic meter, which is the basic unit for volume. Okay? So ang basic unit natin is the cubic meter kapag ka volume for solid. No? While kapag naman tayo ay nasa capacity or sa volume, let's say liquid, so we use liter, which is equivalent to 1,000 cubic centimeter. For English system, we can also use gallon, pints, or fluid ounce used to measure the capacity of the liquid contained. No? So for larger capacity, we use cubic meter, and for the smaller capacity, we use milliliter. So, and then kadalasan, yung milliliter is ginagamit siya sa mga medicinal bottle. So sa medicinal bottle, ang kadalasang sukat niyan ay milliliter. So hindi pa naman siguro nagkakaroon ng sa mga pharmacy na gamot na 1 litro. So kadalasan is milliliter yung ginagamit sa mga medicinal bottle. So tandaan po natin yan. Now, how are we going to convert volume using this illustration? Ganun pa rin po yung gagamitin natin kapag ka metric to metric. No? So, metric to metric, ganito pa rin yung gagamitin natin. So, the unit of measurement, again, we're going to use this illustration. Same procedure nung ginawa natin kanina, kaya lang meron ditong pagkakaiba. So, let us say we're going to convert 8 meter cube to centimeter. So, same procedure, we're going to identify how many moves or how many units are there from meter to centimeter. So, in this case, we have 1, 2. So, meron tayong dalawang movement. But in our given problem, siya ay naka-cube. So, ibig sabihin, magiging triple yung movement ng ating decimal. Kasi, naka-cube. Kung kanina naka-squared, kaya times 2. Dito naman naka-cube, kaya times 3. So, what will happen is that 8 meter cube, nandito yung decimal. So, meron tayong dalawang movement from meter to centimeter, and then we're going to multiply it by 3 kasi naka-cube. So, ang total na movement natin ay 6. So, we will move this decimal 6 units to the right. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all the spaces, we add 0. So, that means 8 cubic meter is equivalent to 8 million cubic centimeter. So, ganun lang din yung procedure. Medyo madali lang naman siya. Tandaan nyo lang kung ano yung mga dapat gawin. Kapag naka-cube, i-multiply natin sa 3 yung movement dito sa ating illustration. Next is to convert 340,000 hectometer cube to kilometer cube. So, same procedure, hectometer to kilometer. Bilangin lang natin. So, that is 1. And then, naka-cube siya. Kaya, i-multiply natin siya sa 3. So, there will be 3 movements. So, from 340,000, nandito yung decimal sa dulo. So, we're going to move to the left 3 times. Kasi, times 3 yung ating movement. So, that is 1, 2, 3. And our answer would be 340. Pwede na nating tanggalin. Since puro 0 siya, pwede nyo na siyang tanggalin. So, kapag ang mga nadaanan nyo ay puro 0, pwede nyo na siyang tanggalin. So, that will be 340 kilometer cube. And that is our answer. So that is how you can convert metric to metric unit of measurement. Paano naman kapag ka English to metric? So gagamit pa rin tayo ng mga tables or ng table ng ating conversion. So answering this problem, how many liters is 16 cups of milk? So we're going to convert from cups to liters. So hahanapin natin yung ating conversion from cups to liter, and in this case, nandito siya. Cups to liter, you're going to multiply it by 0.28. So what will happen is 16 times 0.28. And our answer, if we multiply 16 times 0.28 is 4.48. So, 16 cups is equivalent to 4.48 liters. Ayan. So, ganyan lang po mag-convert ng ating measurement. Next is, Anna wants to make a cake for his mother. The recipe says he would need 8 cups of flour. A box of flour weigh 1.5 liters. The question is, how many boxes or how many bags of flour should he buy? So, in this case, hanapin natin, kasi ang given dito is 8 cups, ang isang box ay 1.5 liters. So, para malaman natin kung ilang box yung gagawin natin or kailangan natin, i-convert natin yung 8 cups into liter para ma-identify natin kung ilang box. So, doing that, we're going to convert again cups to liters. So, same yung ating gagamitin conversion. So, we have 8 times 0.28. So, multiplying 8 times 0.28, the result is 2.24 liters. Okay? So, in the problem, tinatanong kung ilang box yung kailangan natin. And according to the problem, ang isang box ay 1.5 liters. So, ibig sabihin, kasya na ba yung isang box para dito sa ating 2.24 liters? Siyempre, hindi. So, what will happen is that, dadagdagan natin yung isang box. And kapag dinagdagan natin yung isang box, magiging 3 liters na siya. So, that means our needed box of flour is 2 boxes, which is equivalent to 3 liters. So, kaya magiging kasya na siya dito. Okay lang po yung sumobra, wag lang magkulang. So, ang sagot natin dito is 2 boxes. Okay, next. So, the next unit or the next quantity is the mass. And the mass is the measure of amount of matter in a substance or an object. So, the basic unit or the basic metric unit for mass is the kilogram. But smaller masses may be measured in grams. So, ibig sabihin, pwede rin nating sabihin na the basic unit of metric system is gram. Pwede rin po yun. So, for greater amount, the unit of measure is ton. So, sa Tagalog, tonelada. Kapag ka medyo marami na or sobrang bigat na nung ating mini-measure, lalo na kung umaabot na siya sa mga thousands of kilograms, mas ang ginagamit na doon is ton. Okay? So, but remember that the basic unit of measure for the metric system is grams. Sa mass po yun, grams or kilograms. Pwede po yun. And then, to measure mass, so you would use a balance or the weighing scale. So, ito yung mga timbangan. So, ito yung mga tools na ginagamit natin sa ating pagme-measure ng mass. Now, so in converting mass, ganun pa rin naman yung procedure. So, metric to metric, we will use the same illustration. Yun nga lang, may iba na siya. Kung kanina, ang nakalagay ay metric or meter, ngayon naman is gram. So, yung gram natin is nasa gitna since that is the basic unit for mass in the metric system, yun yung gagamitin natin. So, palitan lang natin yan, decigram, centigram, milligram, decagram, hectogram, kilogram. And the procedure is the same. Ganon din yung pagko-convert natin. So, let us try to convert 2,250 milligrams to gram. So, same procedure, bibilangin lang natin kung ilang unit from milligram to gram. So, from milligram to gram, we have 1, 2, 3. 3 units. So, what are we going to do is we're going to move the decimal place or the decimal 3 units to the left kasi papunta sa kaliwa. And that is 1, 2, 3. So, that means 2,250 milligram when converted to gram is equivalent to 2.25. Kasi pwede na nating tanggalin yung 0 kasi nasa hulihan naman siya. So, the answer is 2.25 gram. So, ganun lang mag-convert ng ating metric to metric. And then, the next one is, let's say the problem, we have the mass of 1 sachet of powder juice is 0.05 kilogram. What is its equivalent mass in grams? So, we're going to convert kilogram to grams. So, bilangin lang natin kung ilang unit from kilogram to gram. So, that is 1, 2, and 3. So, meron tayong tatlong unit. Now, what will happen is, we're going to move the decimal place 3 units to the right kasi papunta sa kanan. So, that is 1, 2, and 3. Then, add tayo ng space dito. And then, yung mga 0 sa unahan, pwede na natin siyang tanggalin. So, therefore, 0.05 kilogram is equivalent to 50 grams. That is our answer. Next, so the next quantity is the temperature. So this refers to the measure of the hotness or coldness of an object or substance with reference to some standard value. And the instrument used to determine temperature is a thermometer. And it is measured by Kelvin, degree Celsius, and degree Fahrenheit. So the commonly used units of measure for temperature are degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Although meron tayong tinatawag na Kelvin, bibihira natin siyang gamitin. So kadalasan ang ginagamit natin ay Celsius and Fahrenheit. Now, so what are we going to do if we need to convert this unit of measurement? So in converting temperature, we have these formulas na magagamit. So from Fahrenheit to Celsius, we're going to use the formula degree Celsius is equal to 5/9 times the difference of the degree Fahrenheit and 32. Or pwede rin naman gamitin natin yung 0.56 times the difference between the degree Fahrenheit and 32. Para naman sa Celsius to Fahrenheit, so we're going to use the degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 times the degree Celsius plus 32, or pwede rin yung degree Fahrenheit is equal to 1.8 times 0. Degree Celsius plus 32, and Celsius to Kelvin, we have Kelvin is equal to 0 degree Celsius plus 273. Okay, so let us try to convert this first given. Convert 90 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So using the formula, so ito munang una, we have degree Celsius is equal to 5/9 times the given degree Fahrenheit is 90 minus 32. So simplifying, we have 5/9 times 90 minus 32 is 58. Then multiply lang natin yung numerator and then yung whole number, that is 5 times 58, and the result is 290. So that will be 290/9. And for our final answer, we have to divide 290 by 9, and the result is 32.22. So pwede nyo na siyang i-round off into 2 decimal places, and that is our answer. So ibig sabihin, ang 90 degrees Fahrenheit ay equivalent into 32.22 degree Celsius. So pwede nyo naman gamitin itong isang formula, parehas lang siya ng makukuha. So next one is to convert 100 degrees Celsius to degree Fahrenheit. So using the formula, we have 2 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 multiplied by the given degree Celsius, which is 100, plus 32. So degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5, or 9 times 100 is 900 divided by 5 plus 32. So equivalent to 900 divided by 5 is equal to 180 plus 32, and it is equal to 212 degree Fahrenheit. So ibig sabihin, ang 100 degree Celsius ay equivalent sa 212 degree Fahrenheit. Next is Celsius to Kelvin. So ito medyo madali lang siya. So Kelvin is equal to degree Celsius, or yung given natin na degree Celsius is 100. So we have 100 plus 273, and the result is 373. So ang Kelvin natin ay, ang 100 degrees Celsius ay equivalent sa 373 Kelvin. And that is how you convert time. So you can use this formula para makapag-convert tayo. Next is the time. So it is very important and the fundamental quantities of physical world. Time is a period during which an action or event occurs. So ito yung napaka-importante. Pang-araw-araw natin ginagamit yung time, oras-oras, tumitingin tayo sa relo, tinatanong natin anong oras na, pahinga na ba, o tapos na ba yung klase. So ito yung mga kadalasang gamit ng oras, lalo na kapag mga estudyante. Titingin sa oras, ano ba yan? Ang tagal. Anong oras na? So the Earth revolves around the Sun for 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. However, we use 365 days as equivalent to 1 year. But every 4 years, nadadagdagan ng isang araw yung ating number of days. So every 4 years, nagiging 366 days. Ano po? So ito yung tinatawag natin na leap year. So ang leap year ay merong 366 days. Ito yung nagkakaroon ng February 29. Ano po? Kaya nagiging leap year. Okay, so in converting time, this is the table that we use. So alam ko naman na familiar na kayo dito. 60 seconds is equivalent to 1 minute. 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day. 12 months is equivalent to 1 year. 365 days is equal to 1 year. 366 days is equal to 1 leap year. 10 years is equal to 1 decade. 20 years is equal to 1 score. 100 years is equal to 1 century. And 1,000 years is equivalent to 1 millennium. So solving or converting this, let us try to solve the first example. Convert 3 days to hours. So tignan lang natin yung ating given. So since we're going to convert days to hours, titignan natin yung equivalent niya. So according to this, yung 24 hours ay equal sa 1 day. So we will multiply 3 by 24 kasi ang isang araw ay 24 hours. So that's why we're going to multiply that. And the result, if we multiply 24, 3 times 24 is 72. So that means 3 days is equivalent to 72 hours. Next one is to convert 2 decades to years. So tignan lang natin kung ilang taon meron sa isang decades. So in this case, meron tayong 10 years in 1 decade. So therefore, we're going to multiply 2 by 10 and that is equivalent to 20 years. So, ang 2 decades ay equal sa 20 years. So, yan lang. Ganyan lang kasimple yung pagko-convert natin. Tingnan lang natin yung table natin para makapag-convert tayo. Next is the angle. So, it is formed by 2 rays intersecting at a point called vertex of the angle and the 2 rays are called the sides of the angle. So, ang angle natin, itsura niya is ganito. Ayan po. So, we have here the 2 rays. And they share a common endpoint. Ito yung tinatawag na vertex. At ito yung mga sides ng ating angle, yung dalawa. Ayan po yung itsura ng angle. And this, the angle is the amount of opening of the two sides. So ito po yung hinahanap natin. Ito yung amount ng opening. Hindi po itong line na to. Ito yung hinahanap natin. So the unit of measure is degrees and the instrument used to measure the angle is a protractor. Okay, so ito po yung ginagamit natin. Protractor is the tool we use to measure an angle. Now, there are different kinds of angle na pag-aaralan natin. So, the first one is the acute angle. So, this angle measures greater than 0 degree but less than 90 degrees. Na po? And we have also the right angle which measures exactly 90 degrees and obtuse angle which measures greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So ito po yung mga basic kinds of angle, acute, right, and obtuse. Okay, so let us try to solve this problem. Using the figure above, determine the measure and kind of angles are the following. So we have here angle FAE. So yung FAE, hahanapin natin siya dito. Yung FAE natin is FAE. So, ito po yan. Ito po yun. Ito yung hinahanap natin. So, para makuha natin siya, titingin lang tayo dito sa ating given. So, in this case, from F, titignan natin yung 0. Ito yung 0. So, bilangin lang natin siya. That is 10, 20, 30, and 40. So, ibig sabihin, ang FAE ay 40 degrees. No? So, 40 degrees yung FAE. And the kind of angle, since this is less than 90, this is an acute angle. And we also have BAE. So, yung BAE naman is nandito siya. BAE. So, ito yung E. So, So, ito yung hahanapin natin. This one. At saka ito. So, dito tayo. BAE. So, bilangin lang natin from B. That is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Dito, ito yung titignan nyo. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, up to 140. So that means angle BAE is 140 degrees, and since it is greater than 90, this is an obtuse angle. And the next one is DAF. So DAF is this one. D, D, A, F. So DAF, ayan po. So as you can see, start tayo from D, and then bilangin lang natin siya. So DAF, 0, 10, 20, hanggang maging 90 degrees. So that means angle DAF is 90 degrees, and this is a right angle. And the last one is angle EAC. So angle EAC, ito yung E, ito yung E, and hanggang C. So bilangin lang natin siya. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Or hanggang dito lang po siya sa isa, that is 95. So that means EAC is 95 degrees, and it is greater than 90, so this is an obtuse angle. So that is how you determine the measure of a given angle using this given. So sa protractor, ganyan po tumingin. Next is the last one is the rate, and this is the ratio of two different quantities. Among these ratios are speed, which is the ratio between distance and time. We also have the water consumption. This is the ratio of the price per cubic meter, and many more. So how are we going to solve this kind of problem? So let us say we are going to determine the speed of the car if it travels 100 km in 2 hours. So what are we going to do is we're going to divide 100 by 2, and the result is 50. So therefore, the speed is 50 km per hour. Kasi yun yung ano natin, kilometer hour. Then, pangalawang problem, calculate the average speed of a horse that runs 5,000 meters in 10 seconds. What could be its possible speed? So, same procedure, divide lang natin yung 5,000 by 10, and the result is 500. And since we're going to use the unit meter, and that is per second. 50 meter per second, or pwede rin namang 500 meter per second. Pwede rin po yung maging sagot. And that is how you compute for the speed. And that is the coverage of the first week of Mathematics 7, second quarter. Thank you.